What's up, everybody? What is it? Week 7 of the college football season. So let's get this picks over on the way. Let's get it started. Um, Let me fix this for a second. Okay, but now let's get started. First game we are picking up between is North Texas, who is 5-0 somehow, um, taking on South Florida. Now, North Texas, I don't know how they're 5-0, but they are. They're going up against South Florida. South Florida's 4-1. I think South Florida had a bye last week, I believe. They're ranked number 24, and if they didn't have a bye, they okay. But regardless, I'm gonna go. I'm actually gonna take North Texas at home to shock South Florida. Next game, a Big Ten matchup: Ohio State and Illinois. Wow, what a game this will be! Um, you got Illinois 5-1, just coming off a big win against USC. A week ago, Ohio State, 5-0, doing what they do best. Play defense, not allow many points. I think they've only allowed like 5 points a game or something. Crazy. That's crazy. But yeah, I'm going Ohio State to win this game. The game will not really be that close. Illinois may play tough early, but in the end, Ohio State will be too much. Their defense will shut Illinois down. And yeah, next game, Alabama and Missouri. Surprising, Missouri 5-0. Alabama coming in after rebounding from losing to Florida State week 1. They're looking like they're back. They're going up against Missouri. I'm going to pick Alabama to win that game. I think Alabama is just a better team than Missouri, even though Missouri is nice at 5-0. I didn't think Alabama's too much. The next game, Pittsburgh versus Florida State versus Florida State, right? Pittsburgh 3-2. Florida State 3-2. Florida State looked good early, but they've struggled since. They've lost 2 straight. They're going up. The hosting Pittsburgh. I think Florida State will get the win here. I think they're a better team. The quarterback is better. I didn't think Florida State has too much defense. A little bit better defense than Pittsburgh. And yeah, you know how it is. Well, maybe you don't, but Florida State wins pretty much that game. Next game, Washington State Cougars going to Oxford to take on Ole Miss. Now, I do not remember Ole Miss ever playing Washington State before in history. Maybe they have, but I don't know. Besides that, Washington State, not a good team this year. Ole Miss will win this game and win it easy. Washington State's not very good. Next up, you got another Big Ten matchup between Indiana and Oregon. Indiana's 5-0, Oregon's 5-0. Oregon's coming off that huge win against Penn State. Indiana's coming off the win against Illinois or whatever. Indiana number 7, Oregon number 3. Oregon 7.5 point favorite. It's gonna be tough for Indiana to go into Oregon and get the win here. I'm going to go with Oregon to get the win. It might be close, I don't know, but Oregon will be too much for Indiana in the end. Next game, Oklahoma versus Texas. The River rivalry. Well, Oklahoma 5-0. Texas really struggling. Arch Manning is not looking like himself, or not looking like what people thought he would be coming in to the season. Oklahoma is surprising everybody, especially me. Oklahoma's 1.5 point favorites over here. I'm gonna go Oklahoma to win. I just think Texas is just too, not playing very well, and I think Oklahoma is just gonna be able to have a little too much for Texas. And I don't know. I can see Arch Manning struggling a bit. And, maybe they need to start thinking about a new quarterback and benching Manning. I don't know. But yeah, okay. Next game, Virginia Tech versus Georgia Tech. Now, Georgia Tech's playing very good this season. 5-0. They're going up against Virginia Tech, with who knows how good Virginia Tech really is. I know they're 2-4, so they're obviously not that good, but anything could happen in this game. But I am going with Georgia Tech to win this game, and I don't actually think it will be close. The next game, NC State going up against Notre Dame. Wow. What do you got to say about Notre Dame, folks? Started 0-2. They've won 3 in a row. NC State, I don't know. They play pretty tough. However, I am going Notre Dame here. I think Notre Dame is just too much for them. Notre Dame just has been playing outstanding lately. And, going Notre Dame. Next game, you got the Iowa State Cyclones traveling to Colorado to take on the Buffaloes of Colorado. I don't know why Iowa State is only 2.5 point favorites. I know it's in Colorado, so some people may go, oh, well, why isn't Colorado favorites? Because they're not good at all. Colorado sucks. They're not very good. So, with that being said, I'm going Iowa State. Pretty big. I know it's a 2.5 point spread, Iowa State, but I just don't believe at all that game will be close. The next game is the Arkansas Razorbacks going to take on Tennessee Volunteers. I'm going to go with Tennessee here. Not much to really talk about. I mean, Arkansas, their quarterback's all right, I believe, but, they're not very good overall. The next game is the Florida Gators taking on Texas A&M. Florida shocked everybody, or a lot of people. Maybe not everybody, but a lot of people in the upset of Texas. Well, will they be able to repeat what they did last week and upset A&M? I'm going to have to say no. They will not upset A&M. Florida will fall to 2-4. It might be close. It might be like about a field goal game or something. But I don't think Florida will be able to win back-to-back weeks. The next game, Kansas Jayhawks going to Lubbock to take on Texas Tech. Texas Tech 5-0. Kansas is 4-2. Texas Tech is playing outstanding. They're a good team. I'm going to take the Texas Tech Raiders to take out the Jayhawks. The next game, the Georgia Bulldogs going up against the Auburn Tigers. Now, Georgia, 3.5-point favorites on the road. Georgia lost to Alabama. Will they lose to Auburn as well? I'm going to say no. However, I will say that this game may come down to the end. Auburn will not make this game easy for Georgia. They will lose to Georgia, but they will not make it easy on Georgia. Georgia wins. The next game, at the Coliseum, you got the USC Trojans hosting the Michigan Wolverines. Now, USC's coming off their loss against Illinois. Michigan's coming off a big win against Wisconsin. Michigan is 2.5-point underdogs. I'm actually going to pick USC to win this game. It's going to be a good game, probably. Michigan, I don't believe, will be able to handle them. I mean, they very well could, but I'm going USC to win that game at home. The next game, you got the South Carolina versus LSU. LSU coming off a loss to Ole Miss. They're coming off the bye. They're hosting South Carolina, which I don't know why, but some people probably thought South Carolina could be a sleeper playoff team. But they're already proving they're not. I'm going to take LSU to beat South Carolina. The next game, the BYU Cougars going to Arizona to take on the Arizona Wildcats. Now, BYU, 5-0. They're playing good. Again. Last year, they played good like this. They fell short of the playoffs because they lost to whatever. They're coming off a win against Colorado, which isn't really a surprise. Arizona's coming off a win against West Virginia or something. I'm going to take BYU to win on the road. This will be a good game. But I think BYU's just got a little more than Arizona. The next game and the final game of Week 7. You got the Arizona State Sun Devils going to Utah to take on the Utah Utes. Utah, I don't know, maybe they've been kind of flying under the radar or something this year because I haven't heard much about them. Arizona State has a quarterback back from last year and all that. Will Arizona State come into Utah and win? I'm going to say yes. Arizona State will go into Utah and they will beat the Utah Utes. And there you have it, folks. Week 7 of the college football season. Catch you guys next time.